Hi guys, it's been a long time here. I know. I think it's been like 1 month that I posted on our YouTube channel, but don't worry, I'm back. This episode we're not having a whisper, but we are meeting the host of whispers. My name is Moteniola Oluwatileyin Gbadamosi. So my name is Moteniola Gbadamosi. You can call me Tenny. How do I describe myself in 3 words? The first is I'm a child of God. I'm a child of God. That's like it encompasses everything in my life anyway. So I'm a child of God. Then the second is that I am loving, let me say so myself, and I'm resilient. I think those three are enough. How did my relationship with God begin? Wow. that's, that's a very beautiful question actually. My relationship with God began a few years back. So um, I know I've always been that God-minded girl. So it felt like I knew. I've always known that there was a God, but I didn't really have a relationship with that God. Then while I was younger, you know, I had my parents are very liberal parents. My dad especially, so he wouldn't mind any religion that you're doing. Like he's a very liberal person. I remember a particular time when we were much younger, when my brother was like, "Oh, that he wanted, that he wanted to be a Muslim and be doing all of those." And I was like, "Okay, no problem." But one thing is, for me, I have always been a God-minded person, like I said before. So I don't know how, and I don't know where, I don't know, I don't know why I've always been a God-minded person, but I just always knew that there was a God, and I also knew that there is supposed to be a relationship with that God. I attended a Christian school actually, Christian primary school that were very, very serious with growing children in the way of the Lord. So I give that to my primary school. I give that to my primary school. So I think those were one of the things that actually made me God conscious. Um, this from little I started learning about Bible verses, even songs turned into Bible verses that actually stayed there. Yes, that actually stayed there. So then, how did my relationship start? The time I knew that I gave my life to Christ, like fully gave my life to Christ, that was like in 2017. Like I said, I gave it to my primary school. They they have so they held a retreat for us, and they asked all of their past old students to come around. God put a God-sized hole inside all of us, and to me, I think that's how religion came across. Everybody's trying to find who this God is, but everybody knows that there is a God. Everybody's trying to find who this God is. Anyway, so I feel like even as I was very, very young, that I questioned this emptiness that I knew. I don't know how I knew. That I knew that only God could feel. But how to get to that God, I didn't know how to. So um so in my quest to finding God, in my quest to actually finding God, I actually found him. So we went for a retreat that my primary school held. It was then I actually gave my life to Christ. It was very beautiful. Although I've been, you know, like I said, I've been God minded. So I've been like, okay, there's a God, I give him my life. But when I feel like my relationship, I've been giving God my life every time, but that particular day marked like the beginning of my walk with God. What inspired Whispers? Um, what really inspired Whispers? I think that I've had to nudging a while back to actually start a YouTube channel, but I didn't think it was a thing, like because I'm a very shy person. I am a very shy person. Like, oh, stand in front of the camera. But at the same time, I knew that one day I was going to stand in front of people and actually talk to them. But how that was going to come about, I didn't know. So this particular day, the instruction came like in a very, very funny way. I I hadn't even been praying the way I would always pray. Not like I wasn't praying, but like I wasn't praying so much like that. Then and I remember that day I was praying, like I'd even barely even gotten into the prayer when God told me that I should start a podcast. I was like, start a podcast? How? And the funny thing is, it wasn't even it wasn't even a audio podcast. It was a video podcast. People that know me know that um I cannot even send message on the group chat. Why? Because I'm so scared. I'm a very, very shy person. Everything and overthink everything that I do. So I'm a bit of an overthinker. I didn't mention that in 3 months. I just can't wait for you guys who know I'm a bit of it. God has been helping me anyway. Then so and when the instruction came, I was like, start the podcast kid. How do I go about it? And I just ignored the thought. I was like, I mean, I'd not been praying, so why would God tell me an instruction as big as that in a period where I feel like my spiritual life wasn't very okay? The instruction felt too big for the type of prayer life that I was having at the time. Then I left it. Now I think a few months later, or few weeks later, I was having a visitation. So I was having a visitation, and my friend that was with me was like, Tony, I think you should start a podcast. And I was like, I should start a podcast. I do not know about that. And I was like, okay, God actually told me to, but I do not know. Like, I think that he's just using you to, I think that he's just using you to tell me that I'm not sleeping on this because, like I said, I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and God has given me a lot of instructions before in the past. If I don't see things working out, if I don't see um, things, my resources readily available, if there's something that you're going to do to me, I'm going to sit down there. I'm not going to do it. So it felt like God just sat on my head, like for this podcast, that this particular one, you will do it. I have several instructions that, of course, that later on I'll be unveiling, but those instructions are taking time. Yes. Those instructions are some of those instructions are actually taking time. But this particular one, God was like, you you will do this one, do it. So I told my friends that day that I was going to name the podcast Whispers or Echoes because I was in a phase where I realized that God speaks in a very, very still, small voice, and that you might be going through stuff, but if you are not in stillness, know what God is saying, you'll miss a lot. You'll miss a lot. And I think the majority of my growth the majority of the instructions the majority of the instructions I've gotten from God came from a place of stillness. I actually realized that we live in a very noisy world, and a lot of people are not patient enough. A lot of people are not still enough to actually know what God is saying to them part time, and so they miss seasons, times where they're supposed to they're supposed to actually become things that God is telling them. They miss what God is doing. So they miss what God is doing. So where God is trying to reach out to you to do stuff, God is, it doesn't even have to be the big stuff. I actually realized that that's why it's whispers, the small still and the God still small voice. I actually realized a lot of people are too busy like that. If something is not very, very big and very ambiguous, they do not really count it as God speaking. So I actually realized that a lot of us miss out on the tiny little instructions, even for our own personal development, and even for every other aspect of our life. And it was very, 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 very big burden for me to actually make people see that God speaks. God speaks, and it doesn't speak. It doesn't have to come in. It doesn't have to speak with a burning bush. It doesn't have to be all dramatic. He actually speaks. Basically, and going back to my story, I remember that particular day I told my friend, okay, I think I'm going to name this thing Echoes or Whispers. And she was like, oh, okay. Then that particular Sunday, funny enough, she followed me to church. And when we got to church, my pastor was like, so the title of our sermon today is Whispers. I feel like it was a major confirmation for me because it was something that was on my mind. Like I wouldn't count it as a coincidence. No, like that was too spot on. And my friend just looked at me. I looked at my friend. I was like, okay, we are doing this. We are doing this. So that's how whispers came about. Whispers means stillness. Whispers means the very little things actually matter when God is speaking. Those tiny little things that people often miss. They're very important. I actually hope that my listeners actually come to that place of stillness where they get instructions from God in even in the um, not so big things. I for me I believe that there are no coincidences. I believe that oh, even in your daily life, in your there's one scripture that I really love to quote is that all things work together for our good. So it means that even if you feel like oh you are in even if you feel like you are in the wrong place at you're in the wrong place now, it means that so far you love God and you're called according to his purpose. It means that all things will actually work together for your good. So I actually believe that even if you have a roommate that you feel like, oh, this person should not be my roommate, there is something that is going to actually work out from you. So Hebrews 5:3, I think Hebrews 5:3 or Hebrews 5:8, I was saying that Jesus Christ learned obedience through the things that he suffered. And there is a part in James, I think it was James 1, I can't remember, or James 5, that was talking about how the testing of our faith works out patience. You get so like there's nothing that you're actually going through that it's not to the end that you become that man that God wants you to actually become. I mean, that's my personal belief. So I am very, very, I'm always in stillness, actually hear what God wants for me to do. Then I always make sure that I owed everything. I owed everything. Like, this thing is not going to go. God, what are you trying to teach me with this? I create a God content that God actually speaks. So, of course, that's my work with God has shaped the kind of content that I create. I have a lot of whispers from God that has changed my life for real. I mean, God has been so good. God has been very, very good. I think I'm in a phase of my life where I understand God's grace so much. And I would always tell my friends that I understand where Paul says that is like the chief of sinners. I didn't do up to Paul, or I didn't, it is not necessarily, I did not necessarily have to, you know, go into the synagogues and kill Christians. I have actually realized that God's grace transcends down even to the tiniest little things. I've talked about tiniest a lot. So um, there's a particular thing I like to say. It is God that lights my darkness. I feel like without God, our life would be so dark. Our life would be so dark. So one whisper that has changed my life. I remember sometimes I'm a student leader in Christian Medical and Dental Association of Nigeria, LASUF. Yeah, so I also coming back to the fact that I'm a medical student anyway. So, and I remember when I first got into service that year, I was very mad at the position. that God put me because I felt like, okay, I'll not be sharing that here. But yeah, I was very bad at the position. Then and my president then was like, "Oh, okay, all of you go and meet God and ask him what what you want God to like, what are the instructions for service?" And I went back. I grudgingly went back to ask God that what would he have us do in service. And I was like, okay, God, he asked me to ask God that what he has have us do. And that particular day, God said it, even though I asked grudgingly, he was very clear. He said, I didn't put you in service for the work. It was about the work. I would have gotten someone else to do it. I put you in service for yourself. In that moment, I didn't understand. But I would say, looking back, nah, that one has changed my life forever. I actually realized that, and God has worked on me a lot, a lot. That so much that I feel like my mouth cannot contain the depth of what He has done. So yeah, that's one whisper that has changed my life. What does the normal day in my life look like? I am a medical student. I'm a 500 level medical student, and you guys know how medicine can be. I'm very demanding, and now I'm in clinical class, so it's even not only about going to class; it's about showing up with your body. So it can be very exhausting. So that's why that's why I've actually not pursued in a while because I had exam and I had to prepare for the exam. So that's why then after I had the exams, I also started a new posting for just a medical student here. Um, that's O and G. That's O and G and pediatrics posting. So I'm currently in the O and G, and that's why it's been a lot actually. So it's been a lot balancing that with making videos, but I'm happy that I'm finding my footing now. And at the same time, I have to be excellent too. I have to find time to read and balance every other thing. What's one thing that makes me really happy? I think I really love thoughtfulness. I love thoughtfulness a lot. Like I like it when I do not have to overthink my place in the lives of people. And yes, so like I'm not. This is not to overestimate my importance actually, but this is just that. Oh, I feel like I'm at the front of, like I always say, I'm at the front of your head. That's actually very beautiful. I love thoughtfulness. An example is that I love the up part of bread, that hard part. I love hard brown bread. An example is, I remember my friends actually do that. I remember the up part of bread for you. I love it so much. It's like, oh, you thought about me. Yeah. So I love thoughtfulness. Or I did this because I thought about you, or something like that. So it really makes me happy. The small gestures. I say small a lot. You guys, I don't watch movies, but that's even why I'm looking tired because I've been watching on Just Us Girls. You know the episode that I've been since, I think it started since 2 years ago or something. I'm just watching mine, so I was been watching on it. As I look tired, how do I refresh? I sleep. I love to sleep a lot. I love to sleep a lot, and I love to meditate. Like I feel like I love to be in God's presence, and I'm not over spiritualizing things, and I'm not being too religious. I'm just saying what it is, that I love to be in that place of stillness with God. I just love the presence. I love His presence. I love that thing that we would have. So I think that's how I refresh. Actually, that's how I refresh. I think I'm both. I can be very playful and I can be very shy. I'm trying to come out of my shyness. But I don't think shyness is the same thing as being an introvert anyway. But I'm both. I can be very playful. At the moment, it's been a lot of training. This past weeks or this past month, I've been broken. I've cried. I've cried because I'm learning. I'm learning that my ways are not God's ways. I've learned that before, but I don't know why it feels like I'm learning it all over again. So now I'm learning that my ways are not God's ways, and I'm currently in a phase where I've left my life. Like I've left my life, and I've totally handed it over to God. You know, Jesus take the wheel. That's where I am now. Like Jesus take the wheel of my life. Everything that I want to do with my life, just do it. Like that's the phase I'm in now. That's what I'm currently learning. That His ways are not my ways. And until I actually get to that point where nothing else actually matters, like I feel like maybe because of what I'm learning now, I actually come to realize that a lot of us kingdomize a lot of things, and that are under the guise of what we even want for ourselves. So you feel like with some of this, like it's very, very subtle. It's very subtle. So God is exposing a lot of things to me, but I realize that some of us might not even get our reward here on earth. And it was a very, very hard pill to swallow for me. I was just like, why? Like, why is that? Like, oh my God, it's been a lot. It's been a lot. So that's where I am now. Of course, in the other episodes, this is just like a surface level of you knowing me. Other episodes, um, I'll share more light. And by the way, you guys might be wondering why I'm not using um, our regular place to record. So I actually got a better room in school, and I feel like it makes is better for me because I'll be able to communicate. Because that was still outdoors, and I used to stumble a lot on my lines when I want to record. So I think this place is a more cozy place for me to bring to say everything that I want to say. Anyway, that's what I've been learning. I'm learning that my ways are not God's ways. So I'm currently in a phase where God, let your will be done. Like I don't even have the strength to fight. I don't have the strength. God, just let your will be done, please. Yeah, maybe because I also know that God's will is always perfect, so it's easy. And it took me a long time to get to that phase anyway, so it's easy to live my life in its ends. I've said that before. What's up in my head for this one? He did. He did. Different confirmations. I feel like God was always calling me out. This particular thing, you will do it. So that's why I am in the place of learning. I am, and I'm not scared to actually make mistakes. So I would learn and unlearn as I go. I would not lie to you. I've been more productive. Maybe because editing videos, being creative is something I really love doing. So I've been more productive with my time, with a lot of things. I've learned a lot just by starting this podcast. Like, no, it's been very beautiful. And actually, when God gives you instructions, even though you might not understand it, like just taking that step, no, you don't know what you're going to actually get from it. For me, it's been very beautiful. I don't think I made a mistake starting the podcast. I've learned so many things in skill, in my God, it's very beautiful. Please, when God gives instruction, just sleep on it. Just sleep on it. I understand the question. What does my creative process behind it whisper? I feel like is for now, maybe because I just started, is been like I said, I always stumble on my lines a lot. I record a number of times, but I'm all here. I'll get better, and you guys are here to see it. I'll get better. I have a lot of random things that I don't know. I feel like I cannot share all of them. So I love fruit a lot. I love fruit a lot. So if you want to greet me, if you want me to be happy with you, of course, I'm always happy with people. Like I said, I'm a loving person. So get me fruits. I love cucumbers. Get me fruits. Then what else? Like I said, I love I love hard brown bread. They are random things. So I love hard brown bread. You love I love hard brown bread. You will not see me eating soft white bread. Hard brown bread. That's what I eat. Then my I have friends that call me weird. Like when it comes to food choices, I have some weird food combinations that I don't know. I like to share your camera, or maybe I'll probably do like another get to know me because I'm enjoying this so much. I'll do like another get to know me. I'll do like another get to know me so that you guys get to know me periodically. Then yeah, what's that random thing? Hmm, yeah, I'm a very detailed person. I'm a very detailed person. Sometimes it stresses me out because so an example is this room when we were painting it. My friend was actually very angry with this one. And when we were painting the room, the painter was done with painting. And but I was still seeing those dots. And mind you, the man finished painting by 5 a.m., almost 6. And we had not slept. Do you know I collected the brush for me when I started? So far my eyes can see it. Like it doesn't make me rest. So I'm a very, very detailed person. I'm looking at you, don't worry. I've already seen a lot of things. I might not talk, I've seen a lot of things. So sometimes it stresses me out a lot because there's actually some things I cannot control and I'm actually learning to let go of things I cannot control. God is teaching me to follow in His will. His will is perfect. He's a good God. He's a very good God. I've been learning that more this period. It's been real. Stillness, hearing God, not jumping, not not jumping with things that God would have you do, like staying in stillness, brokenness. In fact, whispers means a lot. It embodies a lot, carries a lot. And like I said before, this and like I said before, this get to know me video is not all that there is to whispers. Of course, as time goes on, you guys will be getting to know all of those things. My current relationship with God. It's beautiful. My God, very beautiful. Beautiful. That's the word. Beautiful. So that's all that there is in this Get to Know Me episode. And episodes on whispers are coming. Don't worry. I will not go on a break again by God's grace. Maybe when I have exams on a medical student, so you guys should expect a lot of mm, I would not say inconsistencies, but maybe not a lot of inconsistencies. But anyway, expect episode 3, 4, 5, 6, and as many episodes as the Lord is going to have us do. So expect that. On Whispers, the podcast is so nice to be talking to you guys again and hope to see you in the next episode of Whispers. And if you have not subscribed, please subscribe now. Subscribe, like, comment, share this video. And we also have a Substack account for meals. So if you want to be getting our personalized meals, for those that have gotten it, you can tell the others that they are missing. They are missing a lot. Because I love to reach the meals myself. So you guys should actually subscribe. Yeah. And there is more. There is more. And everything God is set to do, I'm all here for it. Bye guys.